Shocking reveal. Millionaire shows up at orphanage. Little girl screams, "Daddy." At midnight. It was a night like no other in the quaint town of Willow Creek. Dark clouds rolled in, swirling ominously over the sleepy streets. Just as the clock struck midnight, a piercing scream shattered the stillness from the old orphanage. It echoed off the peeling walls, sending chills down everyone's spine. "Daddy!" A little girl's voice cried out, filled with pure shock and longing, as if the very fabric of the night had bent to unleash a hidden truth. Inside the dimly lit building, the orphanage was a living remnant of forgotten tales, creaking floorboards and fluttering curtains whispering secrets. The air felt heavy, weighed down with mystery. It was said that odd things happened here, echoes of laughter late at night, shadows dancing just out of sight. But nothing could prepare the staff for what unfolded that night. As the caretaker rushed down the musty hallway, heart racing, she stumbled upon a figure standing at the entrance, a tall man, clad in a tailored suit, his sharp features glowing in the eerie moonlight. He was a stranger, yet his presence felt strangely familiar. The flicker of the hallway's single bulb cast an almost ethereal glow around him. Was he a ghost? Or just a millionaire with a penchant for theatrics? His eyes held a depth that made even the bravest shiver. Whispers trickled through the orphanage like a gentle breeze. Who is he? What does he want? Shocked faces appeared at doorways, some clutching tattered blankets, others wide-eyed with bewilderment. The caretaker's throat tightened as the leftover warmth of the child's scream lingered in the air. Tension coiled around them, a mix of fear and excitement. Is he here to adopt? Someone murmured. But why now? The anticipation hung thick, sweltering like an approaching storm, compressing the air in their lungs. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. And just when it seemed the world held its breath, the man took a step forward. The atmosphere thrummed with new energy. He dropped to one knee, eyes locked with the little girl, who stood frozen like a deer in headlights, bewildered. "I'm here now," he said, his voice deep and smooth like velvet. The compelling mix of hope and fear painted her face. But questions lingered around them. Who was he really? Why did he pick now? This orphanage, this child? A mystery deeper than the night itself began to unfold, tugging at every heart, launching into an adventure that would change everything. The whispers grew louder, the crowd edging closer. They wanted to know, would she recognize this man? Or was this encounter simply another haunting tale woven into the fabric of the orphanage's history? The answer hung tantalizingly in the air, a bright beacon pulling curiosity forward, beckoning into the unknown. The little girl blinked rapidly, confusion flooding her features. "Daddy," she repeated, as if trying to make sense of the surreal moment. The man smiled, a gentle but pained expression flitting across his face. He reached out a hand, his long fingers trembling as they neared her, almost as if afraid she might dissipate into thin air. Around them, the air grew electric, a charged tension rippling through the gathering crowd. The caretaker stood frozen, her heart racing, matching the pulsing urgency in the room. "Do you know him, Lily?" she dared to ask, stifling the tremor in her voice. The other children shuffled closer, eyes wide, hearts racing with the thrill of a story unfolding. Lily's brow furrowed. I think so." "What do you mean you think so?" someone interjected, the query echoing a wave of anxiety. Fingers gripped the door frames tightly, breath held in anticipation as all eyes remained fixed on the pair. "I saw him in my dreams." Her voice was barely above a whisper as joy chased with anxiety painted her features. "You were always wearing that suit." A ripple of gasps coursed through the orphanage, a wave of astonishment. The man inhaled sharply, almost as if struck by her words. Was it true? Did this child somehow hold a connection to him, one that transcended reality? "I'm sorry I was gone for so long, my sweet girl," he murmured, his voice cracking. The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken promises and a past shrouded in shadows. But I'm right here now. But before the gravity of the moment could settle, a commotion erupted from the back of the room, a loud crash as a chair toppled over. A figure stumbled forward, visibly shaken and wide-eyed. It was Mrs. Caldwell, the head of the orphanage, her face a picture of disbelief. "What is happening here?" she croaked out, glancing wildly between the man and the little girl. Silence fell as tension thickened again. Mrs. Caldwell's breath caught as she recognized the man. You're him, the one they said would return." The murmurs ramped up once more, confusion swirling with fear. "What do you mean?" someone shouted, voicing what everyone felt. But Mrs. Caldwell's attention was locked on the man, a mixture of dread and admiration swirling in her gaze. The millionaire straightened, eyes glinting defiantly. "I came to bring her home." The proclamation sent chills down everyone's spine. Home. The very idea invoked longing in the hearts of the orphans who had never known a real home. Lily stepped forward, holding the man's gaze, searching for reassurance. "Are you my daddy?" A painful silence settled over the room. Could he be the illusion that all these children had painted in their hearts, a savior dressed in the threads of dreams? Would he whisk them away from this place of longing? In that moment, something unexplainable shifted in the atmosphere, a breeze rattling the windows, and the shadows in the corners seemed to lean closer, listening intently. Just then, a sudden flash of light erupted outside, momentarily illuminating the faces around them like a cinematic pause, capturing the tension in every eye. Was that thunder? The question ignited a new wave of anxiety. "No." Another voice cried out, "It's too bright." The man's face hardened, a shadow creeping back into his expression. "We need to go now?" The urgency in his voice sent a shiver through the group. Yet as Lily stood poised on the threshold of hope, uncertainty washed over her. Something was amiss, and the feeling echoed loudly in her chest. "Where?" she managed to ask, the confusion clouding her innocence. He opened his mouth to speak, but before a word could escape, another crash resonated from the entrance. The crowd gasped, eyes darting toward the doorway as the tension erupted suddenly. Standing there, framed in the light from outside, was a dark figure, cloaked in shadows. Their silhouettes stood ominous, cutting through the hope that had just begun to bloom. "What have you brought us this time?" The voice was low, dripping with menace, slicing through the air like a knife. The atmosphere thickened, a new peril, lurking just beyond the veil. And as Lily's breath hitched, fear electrified the room, pregnant with new questions. The man's expression shifted, a mix of recognition and dread splashed across his features. A storm was brewing, and no one knew what would come next. Would they face the shadows that had once haunted this place? Or would they lose everything they've dared to hope for? All that remained was the unanswered question that trembled on the edge of revelation. How deep did the darkness wrap around this man? And what had he brought back with him? The figure at the doorway stepped into the room, shrouded in an aura of menace. Light flickered around them, casting sharp shadows that twisted and contorted over the crowd. The air grew heavy, palpable with dread as the chilling voice echoed again. "Did you think you could hide her?" Lily stepped back instinctively, fear cutting into her like cold steel. This wasn't just a figure. It was a harbinger of her nightmares made flesh. The man's demeanor shifted, his once paternal eyes narrowing as he faced this apparition. There was tension in the way he held his body, as if bracing against an unseen force. "Stay back," he shouted, an authority breaking through the storm of confusion. Yet, his voice trembled slightly, revealing a fracture beneath the bravado. The sound carried, but instead of reassurance, it only incited further panic among the children. Mrs. Caldwell's face went pale, eyes darting back and forth between the strangers. "Do you know this person?" she gasped, desperate for clarity in a sea of chaos. The man took a step forward, a protective instinct blooming. "I don't know how, but I recognize him. His presence, it feels alive with danger." In sync, the crowd collectively held its breath. They weren't just witnesses. They were trapped in a drama that unfolded like a nightmarish play, each line more haunting than the last. "What do you want?" he demanded, his voice rising, straining against the weight of fear that swallowed the room. The figure tilted its head, a smirk flitting across their shadowed face. "You know what I want." She asked, the key to everything. And you've brought her back to the place I left behind. Lily clutched her arms tightly, trembling. What do you mean? She whispered, her wide eyes searching for answers that remained just out of reach. The dark figure stepped closer, the shadows swirling around them like a cloak. Oh, sweet child, you have no idea who your father truly is. The laughter that erupted from them was low and cruel, sending coils of fear snaking through the hearts of those present. Enough. The man's command resonated, raw and unyielding. You won't touch her. Strength radiated from him even as he glanced at Lily, eyes softening briefly, a flash of compassion amidst terror. But as the standoff unfolded, the room shivered with an unseen force. The flickering lights above began to buzz and flicker violently, shadows stretching unnaturally as if they were alive, writhing in anticipation. It was a foreboding prelude to something cataclysmic. Do you see now? The shadows seemed to whisper. What was hidden is coming back to claim its own. The man staggered back, almost losing his footing. I won't let you take her, he vowed, desperation clawing at his throat. Lily could scarcely breathe, her heart pounding like the storm that brewed outside. Daddy? She squeaked, voice trembling, torn between trust and fear. The dark figure leaned even closer, their presence enveloping Lily like a fog. It's time to choose, Father. What will you sacrifice to keep her safe? You can't hide forever. And in that moment, reality warped. A chilling breeze swept through the orphanage, rattling the windows and whispering secrets of betrayal and darkness. The tension hung in the air thick enough to cut, and the children shrank back, uncertain, whispering among themselves. Would he make a choice? What was the price of safety? As the secrets hidden in the shadows unraveled, the mounting dread pulsed like a drumbeat, echoing through the silence. The man's eyes locked on the dark figure, face twisted with determination. I will do whatever it takes. Lily's heart raced. What did that mean? What was about to unfold? And then, as if the world held its breath, the lights surged, illuminating everything in blinding clarity. The dark figure smirked, the shadows retreating slightly, creating a brief moment of stark clarity. But that clarity was fleeting, fading just as quickly as it appeared. The figure vanished into the shadows, leaving only the whisper of their words behind. What truly lurked beneath this enigmatic connection? What kind of darkness was poised to strike? As confusion swept through the room, fear congealed in every corner. The immediate danger evaporated, but the tension remained as thick as fog. Lily stood frozen, her small hands trembling. She wanted to believe him, to feel safe, but doubts gnawed at her. The man was more than just a father. He was a beacon of hope tangled in an unseen web of dread. How deep did his past run? In the silence that settled, an even bigger question emerged. Would they have to confront what haunted him to save themselves from the darkness chasing them all? The room held its breath, frozen in a moment teetering between hope and despair. Lily's small figure clutched her father's hand, feeling the warmth of his grip, but it was overshadowed by a pervasive chill that slithered through the air. Mrs. Caldwell's face turned ashen, her gaze darting toward the shadowy corners of the room, not knowing when the figure would return. What just happened? Someone whispered, their voice cracking the stillness like a fragile glass. The children huddled together, eyes wide, hearts pounding. Anxiety buzzed among them, a low hum of fear that begged for release. I don't know, the man admitted, voice unsteady. But we have to leave. Now. He looked at Lily, determination hardening his features. I promise, I won't let anything happen to you. But his words tripped over a dark current beneath them, sprinkled with doubt. Why did he call you father? Lily's voice broke the oppressive tension, inquisitive yet trembling. Because he's lying. He wants to play mind games, he replied, though even as he said it, his heart sank. The darkness that had shadowed his life for years was now again clawing at their doorstep. Is it true? She asked, her eyes filled with unspoken questions. Is there something about you I don't know? That was the moment they all felt it, the temperature dropping sharply, like a door opening to a long-forgotten winter. A soft thud echoed from the hall, rattling the windows. The shadows seemed to stretch and curve, fans of obscurity spiraling outward. Stay close, the man whispered urgently, guiding her further back, shielding her from the ominous air that shifted with a life of its own. The other children, laden with trepidation, pressed against him, forming an unspoken alliance in their shared fear. Mrs. Caldwell edged closer to the man, her voice barely above a whisper. Do you really think it's safe here? Maybe we should call for help now. He snapped, a sudden fire igniting in his eyes, quickly tamped down by guilt. No one can help us. Not yet. As he spoke, the lights overhead flickered again, sinking them into half-darkness, the shadows yawning wide. Then out of the gloom came a sound, one that twisted the atmosphere with cold terror. Someone whispered Lily's name, sweet yet haunting. It ricocheted against the walls as if the very building relayed the ominous call. Lily, the man flinched, a look of pure horror crossing his face. Lily turned to him, seeking reassurance, but all she saw was fear. Is it him? She murmured, backing into him. It's a trick, he shouted, anger finally cracking his composure. Don't listen to it. But the whisper persisted, growing more insistent, pulling at the edges of reality. It was the same voice that had haunted the corners of his mind, a dread he thought he'd left behind. Caleb, the name rolled off the spectre's lips like honey mixed with poison. Every child in the room shivered. Goosebumps erupted on Lily's arms as the shadows cascaded into familiar shapes, echoes of a past that wouldn't let go. Daddy, who is Caleb? She asked, confusion giving way to the whirling shadows, her innocence wrapping tightly around her like a lifeline. Before he could answer, the door burst open, slamming against the wall. A figure clad in darkness framed by moonlight stood there, menacing and almost regal. The children gasped, their faces frozen in horror. The figure smiled, a sharp, wicked grin that carved across their face. I've come for what's mine, they declared, voice dripping with a chilling certainty. The room trembled, filled with an energy that surged like a wave, threatening to crash down on them all. Lily's heart raced, and she felt a pit forming in her stomach. What would it take to survive? And as that figure advanced, a dreadful thought crossed her mind. What if the past was indeed coming to collect its due? Would her father stand against it? Or would shadows claim him too? With a roar of thunder outside, she knew what must be done, but was she ready to face the truth lurking in the dark? The real struggle was about to begin. The figure stepped into the room, and the atmosphere thickened with unease. The flickering lights dimmed further, casting elongated shadows that reached towards the trembling children. As the man shielded Lily behind him, Mrs. Caldwell took a protective stance beside them, her shaking hands clutching the edge of a table as if it could ward off the encroaching darkness. Caleb, you should not have returned, the man said through clenched teeth, his voice barely a whisper but full of fury. The name hung in the air, a ghost that breathed life into the silence, reverberating through the walls like a sinister echo. Lily's pulse raced as she took in this terrifying sight. The figure Caleb was tall, draped in a cloak that seemed to swallow the light around him. His smile widened, revealing teeth that gleamed sharp in the gloom. Oh, but I have unfinished business, he replied, his voice smooth like silk yet laced with malice. What do you want from us? The man shot back, desperation tinging his words. The other children were frozen, eyes wide, breaths caught in throats tight with fear. Even the faint sound of thunder outside felt distant compared to the storm building within the room. Caleb stepped closer, and Lily felt the urge to scream, but something in the pit of her stomach kept her silent, like a weight pinning her to the floor. What I want is very simple, he said, tilting his head in a mocking manner. I want what's mine. The child and the secrets buried with her. Lily gasped as a chill coursed through her veins. She could almost hear the thumping of her own heart in the stillness, and then the sense of betrayal ignited like a fire within her. What secrets? She dared to ask, though a part of her wished she hadn't. Caleb's eyes gleamed like burning coals. The family you never knew, Lily. The truth of who you are, what you come from. He paused, seeming to relish the moment. Or rather, what was taken from you? No. The man's voice rose in a desperate cry. You want to touch her. He stepped forward, a protective instinct coursing through him. Shadows flickered around him like restless spirits. Caleb laughed softly, a sound that sunk into the air. Touch her? Oh, I intend to do much more than that. You think these walls can protect you from the past? You think I don't have ways to ensure my return? Lily, her small hands trembling, peeked out from behind her father. The shadowy figure seemed to ripple before her eyes, an unsettling illusion that deeply unnerved her. Is that why you're here? she stammered, clutching her father's shirt as if it were the only anchor in a violent sea. Before he could respond, a loud crash erupted from the window. A bolt of lightning illuminated the room, momentarily revealing Caleb's true form, a disfigured visage marred with anger and sorrow. The children screamed in unison, voices echoing in panic. "Do you see?" Caleb pointed, his grin vicious. "This is only the beginning. Darkness is my kin, and it seeks to take back what belongs to it." The lights flickered violently, then succumbed to darkness, plunging the room into an abyss. In that moment of chaos, an overwhelming truth hit Lily. They were not just battling Caleb. They were fighting against fate itself. "Daddy, what do we do?" she cried out, her voice barely breaking through the encircling whispers of the shadows, now almost tangible in the air. "We fight," he shouted, a steely resolve gripping his features once more. A faint glimmer of hope shot through her heart. But before they could continue, a third voice broke through the sudden stillness. One that was softer yet heavy with authority. "You will not harm them," it declared, echoing through the air like a clarion call. All eyes turned to the doorway where an unrecognized figure stood, bathed in the light of the storm, unwavering and fierce. Could this new arrival be their salvation, or merely another layer to the growing nightmare? Lily's heart thundered as she waited to find out. What if their ally was just as entangled in the shadows? And as that tension hung in the air, another bolt of lightning illuminated the scene, revealing secrets hidden in darkness. The newcomer stepped forward, his silhouette casting a long shadow against the wall. His hair was wet from the rain, slicked back, and his piercing gaze swept across the room. "I know him. I know Caleb," he stated with a chilling assurance, his voice strong, a stark contrast to the chaos that surrounded them. Caleb laughed, a sharp, cutting sound. "So, the lost sheep has come to seek the fold. How quaint." He took a step back, crossing his arms, a predator observing its prey. "Get away from them," the figure shouted, desperation lacing his voice as he approached. Lily squirmed closer to her father, her heart pounding in her chest. "Who are you?" her father demanded, placing a protective hand on Lily's shoulder. The man hesitated, and in that brief moment, doubt flickered in his eyes. "I'm someone who can help. If you trust me," he said, his gaze shifting from her father to Lily, his expression softening just for a moment as he searched her eyes. "Trust him?" Caleb interrupted, his laughter ringing through the room like a death knell. "You think any of us here can trust anyone? This is about survival. Then why don't you fight me?" the new man urged, his challenge resonating in the heavy air. "Why not take your anger out on someone who can actually face you?" Caleb's expression shifted, intrigue mingling with outrage. "You think you're a champion for the weak? You'll be swallowed whole in this darkness." "Enough." The thunder outside rumbled angrily, as if the storm itself echoed the tension rising in the room. Lily dared to glance at the figure standing before them. He looked resolute, but there was something else. Something in his eyes whispered of a past as dark as Caleb's own. "This isn't just about you." The man took a bold step forward, now standing toe-to-toe with Caleb. "This is about Lily. She deserves to know her truth, her heritage, without your taint." In that defiant moment, a crack of lightning illuminated the room once more, casting eerie shadows that seemed to dance around Caleb, highlighting the twisted glee on his face. "Her truth?" he hissed. "She's not ready for that, and you know it." Lily's chest tightened, her breath growing shallow. She didn't want to know secrets wrapped in darkness, secrets that could shatter everything she thought she knew. "No, I don't want any secrets," she whimpered, squeezing her father's hand harder. Caleb's face shifted from glee to fury. The darkness that seemed to rise around him grew thicker, almost alive and pulsating. He extended his hand, and a deep growl emanated from within the shadows. "You don't get a choice in this, girl. The past will come for you, and I will ensure that your fate is sealed. Get away from her." The stranger lunged, but just as he did, an explosion of light filled the room. Everyone faltered, shielding their eyes. For a moment, the light banished the shadows, and in that flash, Lily saw what appeared to be old portraits lining the wall, faces she had never recognized, yet they felt hauntingly familiar. And then it was gone, replaced by an oppressive darkness. But the implications lingered in the air, a silent promise of revelations yet to come. "Lily," Her father's warning cut through the chaos, snapping her back to the moment as Caleb scowled and the shadows writhed. The new figure, still standing resolutely, locked eyes with her. Stay close to your father. You are not alone in this fight. But in the deep silence that followed, along with the echoes of the storm, a horrifying thought clawed at Lily's mind. What if everything she learned about her family was hidden in the very darkness they were battling? As thunder rumbled outside, a new dread settled over them. Secrets long buried were surfacing, and every heart in the room knew the struggle wasn't just against Caleb, but against the very legacy that haunted Lily. What would she discover about herself, and who would pay the price for it? The atmosphere crackled with tension as the light faded, leaving only Caleb's dark amusement and the unresolved dread clinging to everyone like a thick fog. Lily's heart raced. She felt the vulnerability in every fiber of her being. It was as if the shadows reached out, threatening to pull her under. Enough of this, Caleb thundered, the rumble mimicking the storm outside. You think you can alter her fate? He gestured wildly, shadows swirling in response, a swirling vortex of menace. The new figure didn't flinch. It's not about altering fate, Caleb. It's about fighting for the truth, even if it hurts. His voice was steady, unwavering despite the looming dread. Lily's father stepped in front of her, his presence a solid wall against the chaos. You don't know what you're meddling with. The warning hung in the air, heavy and foreboding. Caleb's eyes narrowed into slits, and the shadows shivered around him, responding to his fury. You think you can just walk in here and decide what is best for her? You're a fool. A low growl erupted from the depths of the shadows, rising in defiance. It was a guttural sound, primal enough to send a shiver racing down Lily's spine. Get ready to swallow the truth. The newcomer's expression hardened, muscles tensed as he took a defiant stance in the midst of the chaos. Fight me, Caleb. If you truly wish to protect her, then prove it. His voice rang out, echoing through the room with shocking clarity. For a moment, silence enveloped them, punctuated only by the relentless rain tapping against the windows. Nobody moved. Caleb's fury morphed into something darker, as if the shadows became an extension of his rage. He took a step forward, the air thickening with malevolence. You think this is a game? Caleb hissed, shadows curling around him like serpents. You have no idea what you're up against. This isn't just a fight for survival. Lily's breath hitched in her throat as she watched the faces of her father and the newcomer, each mask reflecting a different shade of determination. What do you mean? She found herself asking, her voice barely a whisper. Caleb's face twisted into a macabre grin. Your lineage, girl. It is shrouded in darkness. He turned, gesturing wildly towards the now fading light. They may have hidden it well, but it'll come for you, whether you're ready or not. No, Lily shouted, panic rising like bile in her throat. I don't want to hear it. But a deep, insistent pressure began to build, tugging at her heart. Secrets long masked were clawing at the walls she had carefully constructed around her. Please, she pleaded, fear spilling from her eyes. Stop. Just stop. The storm outside reached a furious crescendo, lightning illuminating the room in sharp bursts, revealing the portraits once again. A woman with fierce eyes caught Lily's attention, a stark resemblance to her own features. Her breath caught in her throat. Who is she? Lily breathed, her voice trembling. The newcomer stepped back, attention flickering toward the portraits. His expression darkened. That's part of what you must discover, Lily. Your past is more than just shadows, it's alive. Caleb burst into laughter, the sound shrill and unhinged. You think you can protect her? The moment she learns, all will be lost. Lily's heart pounded violently, and in that moment, she felt the weight of her lineage pressing down on her, heavier than any burden she had ever known. The truth could tear apart her very soul. Suddenly, she felt something shift within her, a flicker of determination stirring in the chaos. I want to run from this, she declared, standing taller. I will face it, whatever it is. Caleb's laughter faded, replaced by a cold, calculating gaze. If that's your wish, dear girl, then let it be known your lineage is a prison, and the door is about to be unlocked. Thunder cracked once more, filling the air as they all braced for what was to come. The shadows quivered, a silent witness to the potential chaos lying ahead, and with it, Lily knew that the fight to uncover her truth was only just beginning. What other secrets lay in? Wait, lurking in the corners of the past. And would she be strong enough to confront the darkness that claimed her lineage? The shadows deepened as the storm raged outside, swirling winds shrieking around the house. Lily felt her heart quicken, each beat echoing the uncertainty in the air. Caleb stood there, dark amusement flickering in his eyes like the lightning outside. The tension was palpable, almost suffocating. Unlock the prison, then, Caleb taunted, stepping closer, shadows wrapping around his feet like eager pets. Let the truth spill out. But oh, Lily, you want to thank them for it. His laughter sent icy fingers crawling up her back. Lily glanced at her father. His face was a mask of worry and resolve, and the newcomer who seemed so fearless moments before was now contemplating an unseen threat. We need to get out of here, her father said, voice low as if outside ears could pierce their desperate bubble. Where will you run? Caleb sneered, intimidating with an energy that surged and pulled, like the tide. The darkness is inescapable. It finds you. Lily shook her head, emotions rising unbidden. You don't know anything about me, she blurted, trying to rally her wavering courage. But the truth, long cloaked in shadows, rippled underneath her skin, whispering remnants of forgotten memories. She stepped forward, her brow furrowing in determination. I will discover my past, whatever it takes. The room seemed to hold its breath, and for a moment, even Caleb's laughter fell silent. The stranger shifted, revealing a sharp edge to his expression, like a sword awakening from its slumber. Lily, this is about more than the past or your lineage. This is about the forces at play, dark forces that will stop at nothing. You must be willing to confront them. Caleb surged forward, shadows rising like angry serpents. They don't have the power to protect you, only the power to drown you. Your family's history bleeds terror. The lights flickered violently, shadows dancing along the walls, stretching and contorting ominously. Lily couldn't breathe. A cold chill washed over her, memories seeping like fog, shadows shifting within her mind. Faces she couldn't quite place began to emerge, weaving through her thoughts like tendrils in the night. Listen, the newcomer said fiercely, locking eyes with Lily. You are stronger than you know, but you must confront this truth with your eyes wide open. Only then can you conquer the darkness. Enough! Caleb's voice screamed, a thunderclap accompanying his fury. He extended his arm, drawing the shadows closer into a swirling vortex. This truth will shatter you. Lily stood tall, her heart pounding, discovering the flickers of strength simmering deep within. Maybe it will. She could feel her adrenaline, fear morphing into a weapon. But if my past is full of monsters, then so be it. I will face them. At that, Caleb's expression twisted, sneering. Then let us see how deep the shadows run. With a sudden motion, he thrust his hand forward, shadows snapping like whips through the air, aiming towards Lily. Everything moved in slow motion. Her father lunged. The newcomer stepped up, and Hannah, another lost spirit in the room, cries out. Lily. Time hung thick, and with no way to back down, Lily felt the heat of a decision forming. Did she run? Or did she dig her heels in and unearth whatever darkness awaited her? Just then, the lights flickered and flickered again, casting an eerie glow upon an unlit corner of the room. Something shifted there, a veil peeled back, revealing a figure, a flicker of familiarity haunting her vision. Lily, the voice floated through the air, heavy with longing and fear. Questions crowded in, weaving through her mind. Who was it? Could this be the key to the lineage Caleb spoke of? The shadows buzzed, alive with renewed energy. As the figure stepped out from the darkness, a chilling realization surged. This was only the beginning. What awaited Lily in that shrouded past? Lily, the voice called again, and she felt something shift deep within her. The storm outside raged on, and footsteps echoed in the fading light, leading them toward the truth, toward secrets that would bind or break them all. What confrontation awaited them in the darkness? Would facing her past open the door to salvation or doom? The figure stepped into the light, casting away the shadows that clung to him like a second skin. It was a face so eerily familiar that Lily felt the world tilt on its axis. Her breath caught in her throat. Mom. The word slipped out, a whisper saturated with disbelief and desperation. The figure her mother had been lost in the fog of Lily's memories, but now, here she was, wearing the same calmness mixed with sadness that Lily had dreamed about. Lily, her mother, breathed, her voice trembling, a soft rustle against the chaos swirling in the room. The shadows around them seemed to recoil at the sound, as if acknowledging the power held in that single name. Caleb's laughter morphed into a sneer, delight pooling in his eyes. "Oh, look at that! The prodigal mother returns. How charming. But do you know what lies between the two of you?" "Stop!" Lily shouted, her heart racing, new strength coiling around her. "What do you want?" She didn't care to hear Caleb's taunts. Her focus was on her mother, the light she thought had been extinguished forever. "Lily, listen to me," her mother said, desperation lacing her words. "This isn't safe. You're in danger." The shadows flickered violently, a reflection of the storm brewing outside. "Danger?" Lily echoed, dread creeping back in. "By who? By what?" Caleb threw back his head in laughter, the sound dark and echoing. "You think she can protect you? She's part of the darkness. Her blood runs thick with it." "Shut up!" Lily screamed, hurt and anger brimming. "I trust her. You're just trying to twist everything." The walls felt close, the air between them thickening like syrup. Shadows writhed, tugging as if alive, searching for weaknesses, craving fear. She reached forward, her heart a drumbeat of hope and rage. "Mom, please, tell me the truth. What is happening?" Her mother closed her eyes for a moment, drawing in a deep breath before seeming to collect her thoughts. "Lily, your family, our lineage, it's woven with both light and darkness. We have power, but it comes at a cost." "What kind of power?" Caleb stepped closer, fingers stretching toward the growing tension. "Oh, let her speak. Isn't this adorable? A reunion after all these years." The newcomer leaned in, eyes blazing like fire. "Lily, there is more to this than you can imagine. You have the gift, the ability to summon and control the shadows. But that power doesn't come from a place of goodness. It demands a price." Shock washed over Lily, a wave crashing against the reassuring sand of her mother's presence. She had always felt different, always sensed another world lurking just beneath the surface of her reality. "What kind of price?" Lily's heart raced, dread drumming against her ribs. Caleb's smirk deepened, shadows at his command. "She won't tell you, Lily. The truth abuses the fragile, and you've already begun to break." "No," Lily shouted, feeling an unfamiliar spark igniting within her. "I won't let you manipulate this." The room began to vibrate with energy. Her mother took another step closer, urgency filling her voice. "You must embrace who you truly are, Lily. The shadows cannot be cast aside, they are part of you. You have the potential to either strengthen or destroy." Thunder cracked outside, shaking glass frames on the wall. Lily felt the room shift, shadows tightening, suffocating, wrapping around her limbs. A tightness coiled deep within, every second intensifying the heat of her fury. "No," she gasped, struggling against the darkness. "I will find my truth." And in that moment, every shadow that threatened to swallow her flickered, caught off guard by the fierce light blooming in her chest. Time dragged as the tension resonated deeper, Caleb's expression morphing from amusement to something darker, something more menacing. "You think you can?" Just the sudden thud of the door splintering open echoed through the room, flooding it with blinding light. "You'll regret this, Lily," Caleb hissed, as if the very phrase was a curse. She turned, instinctively holding her ground, ready for whatever storm was about to break. But who had entered? A new figure emerged. Tall, cloaked in light, cutting through the shadows like a knife. That commanding presence pulled her attention away from Caleb. Was this salvation or judgment? The figure locked eyes with Lily as the shadows twisted and contorted. "The moment has come, Lily. Prepare yourself for the truth." Lily felt the cold sweat on her brow, fear rushing back, mingling with curiosity. Who was this new arrival? And what truth was about to be laid bare before her? The figure stepped into the light, revealing a woman with long, flowing hair and an aura that shimmered with ethereal grace. Lily's pulse quickened as recognition washed over her. This was the true embodiment of hope. Her mother's eyes widened in disbelief and joy. You came." "Of course, I would come for my family," the newcomer replied, her voice like the gentle chime of silver bells. Lily, there's so much we need to discuss. You have no idea how significant this moment is. Caleb scowled, frustration pouring from him like smoke. You think you can just waltz in with your light and reclaim what's mine? You've underestimated the depth of darkness surrounding us. Darkness does not own your heart. Caleb, the woman shot back, unwavering. You allowed it to bind your soul. But Lily stands at the edge of understanding. It's time she sees clearly. Lily swallowed hard, uncertainty still coiling around her. But inside her, a spark flared the need for truth, for family, for a connection lost too long. What does this mean? She asked, looking between her mother and the woman. What power do I have? You inherited strength from our bloodline. You can wield shadows. But with that power comes choice, the woman explained gently, each word carrying the weight of history. You can embrace it or allow it to control you. The dangers are real, but so are the rewards. Caleb scoffed, moving closer, shadows wrapping around him like a cloak. You think she's ready? She's just a girl caught in a game much larger than herself. But there was an unwavering light in Lily's heart that pushed against the fear. No, I want to back down, she asserted, her voice rising above the chaos. If I have the power to face this darkness, I want that choice. Your heart holds the key, Lily, her mother said, her voice steady and calm, a lighthouse amidst the storm. Trust it, and it will guide you through the shadows. The air shifted, heavy with anticipation as Lily faced the inevitability of the moment, locking eyes with both Caleb and the newcomer. She felt the shadows swirling around her, alive and pulsing with energy, and in her chest, warmth surged. With every heartbeat, she could feel the dark echo of Caleb's presence, but also the fierce light of her heritage. An unwavering determination built within her. I won't let you use me anymore, she shouted, grounding herself. If you want to fight, Caleb, then I'll give you one. Foolish girl, Caleb spat, shadows arcing like lightning. You barely understand the powers you're playing with. But Lily stood firm, every child in the orphanage standing behind her, united. You don't scare me, she declared, every ounce of defiance boiling to the surface. I choose to confront you, whatever your darkness is. I will face it, and I will decide what destiny means for me. With that declaration, something within her stirred, an energy that surged through her limbs and ignited determination in her heart. The shadows around her quivered, as though responding to her will. Let us finish this, she said, stepping forward. In that instant, the room erupted. The shadows erupted, countering her brilliant light. A clash echoed like thunder through the building, illuminating the despair of the past, anger intertwining with hope. The world blurred around them, and as Caleb surged forth, shadows reached, but Lily stood her ground. Her heart hammered fiercely, her mother's love remained strong, the fiery determination ignited by the new woman's grace. Light burst forth like the dawn, illuminating Caleb in stark clarity. This is impossible, he hissed, as Lily unleashed her power, shadows intertwining into a dazzling dance of light and darkness. The onlookers gasped, feeling the shift, the warmth of hope fighting back the despair. With each breath, she drew strength from all the children, the memories of lost innocence as they united in purpose. You wanted to claim me, but you will not succeed, she shouted, and in that moment, a surge of radiant power erupted. Shadows screamed, swirling desperately against the brilliance of hope. Lily felt the connection, weaving through the air around her. She closed her eyes, envisioning a bridge of light connecting her past to her present. Like the storm outside, she became the tempest of force of nature. And as Caleb reeled against the roaring wind, panic splattered across his features, the battle reached a fever pitch. The room illuminated more than just their surroundings. It bathed them all in a new truth: the strength of family never erodes, but courses through lifetimes. Lily tightened her fists, crying out a raw cry for all to hear. This ends here. Suddenly, with a thunderous crash, the shadows shattered, crumbling around Caleb, light pouring through the cracks of despair. It flickered in the air above them, bursts of energy rippling like a tidal wave. As Caleb was obliterated by the brilliance of Lily's truth, the shadows dispersed, leaving only a fading echo of their former dread. As silence fell, the room slowly regained its calm. Lily felt lightheaded yet invigorated. Those familiar faces surrounded her, all of them filled with awe and relief, as they held onto the moment, binding hope around them like a blanket. "Is it over?" someone murmured. "Not entirely," the newcomer replied gently, moving closer to Lily, pride lighting up her face. "But you've taken the first step. You chose the light, and it will always be a part of you." The journey towards understanding her ancestry, her gifts, and her connection to those she lost had only begun, but with confidence flickering inside her, though, she knew brighter days awaited. With so much more to learn and so many echoes of family awaiting her embrace, she realized one vital truth. She was not alone, and with that knowledge, she could embrace whatever came next. "Thank you all, really," she managed aloud, heart swelling. "Together, we can face whatever waits ahead." But as a gentle sigh passed through the room, she sensed a lingering shadow. Although she had claimed this victory, she felt the path to her future held more challenges yet. And with determination sparking within, she had no intention of stepping back. Not now. Not ever. As the walls of the orphanage stood witness to newfound hope and strength, the children gathered around her, smiling with thankful eyes. It felt like family for the first time. "Want to go home?" she asked, her heart lifting. "Home? What color is the sky there?" she whispered to the winds, feeling like a brush of feathers against her cheek. "Bright," someone answered. Then she smiled, sensing the warmth wrapping around them all, and in the end, as the dawn began to break, she felt ready to embrace it. "Let us go?" And together, they walked into a new beginning, unearthing each other's stories in the light of both hope and truth. Now that you've reached the conclusion that ties everything together, let us keep the momentum going. This is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe now so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash the like button to feed the algorithm and keep the adventure alive. Flood the comments section with your reactions, theories, and thoughts about the ending. Your voice matters. And don't wait even one more second to share this conclusion with at least 5 friends who need to see this hit of emotion. Let us stay connected in this epic journey together.